Hello there folks, my name is Great Mighty Poe, and welcome to part 262 Elden Ring Reforged, Master Mode. Get back into this. So, last time we took down Moog, and so today it is Hirnan's turn. And hopefully this goes well. I think it's this one. That's Precipice of Anticipation. This one? I can never remember. Nice guy unceasing. Yes, this is indeed the one we are looking for. Awesome. I don't know why, like, the imbued key for Hirnan isn't found, like, behind Moog. Like, just up on that ledge up there. But I guess, like, there is one of the immunizing horn charms here, so, like, you kinda want to come here early just for that. But aside from that, it's kind of a bit silly that you can come here and fight Hirnan so early. Like, sure, they drop Crucible of the Fortune, but I think it would probably be both easier and faster to just get Starlight tokens to get that, rather than killing Hirnan early on. Because, yeah, they are a pretty beefy boy, or gal, or whatever, I don't know. Not gonna assume. So, yeah, Hirnan time. So, they'll certainly be interesting. I hope. Also, I just realized I have 70,000. Let's not go in here with 70,000 and immediately die and lose it. There we go. That's a bit better. Awesome. Right, let's drink up, me hearties, yo-ho, and let's get into this. You can see they've got the horns, like a Silurian. Oh, there's an extra explosion after that. Oh, that's some good damage at least. Nice. This is why I went with the parry strat, because yeah, they are a Crucible Knight. Yeah, an extra explosion there. Caught me off guard. A good time to heal that attack though, which is nice. I did push the dodge button, but nothing. You can see that's the spear specific move there. By the way, for the breath attack, you're meant to run away from it, but I kind of just freaked out because I didn't know what to do at the time. Yeah, that is their most devastating attack. Okay, yeah, I think I was a bit too far away to parry that. That fire breath there is what I was expecting. That one you can jump. I think the other one you need to run around them, which, you know, I don't have much practice on because there's only, I think, one other Crucible Knight that does the Fire Breath stuff, and that's Tennis Knight. And we kicked Tennis Knight's ass, so we didn't really get to see much of that stuff, which I think is a bit of a shame. It's a little bit annoying. Okay, come on. The partials are really annoying because they destroy my stamina so badly. He moved like he was doing that, and then he didn't. Way to slack me out, Hirnan. Yeah, okay, don't dodge backwards into that. That's a bad idea. Okay. I should have just backed off, but that was my fault. I'm still learning some of these moves because, like, you don't see them on Crucible Knights very often. They're pretty rare, which is, I think, an issue I have with Hirnan, is they're meant to be like this big ultimate final Crucible Knight, but you never see any of the Crucible Knights use these moves, because they just don't for some reason. Like, they have the option to use them sometimes, but they choose not to. And it ends up making this fight a lot harder than it needs to be. Are you fucking kidding me, mate? And one thing you'll notice is that some of the Crucible incantations he's doing are giving him effects. At least I think they do. Maybe it's only below half. I can't remember. Man, I just could not get a break there. Typical Crucible Knight. I need to figure out how to dodge the Fire Breath attack, because, like, the distance on it's too far to run from, And that's my instinct whenever I see it, is to run from it, but I need to run towards them, I think. I don't know, it's... As I said, there's only one Crucible Knight in the game that does it normally, so like... Ugh. Not even Ordivis does it. And he's like the head of the Ordovician Knights, and it's like an Ordovician thing. I'm drinking my physic and you ain't fucking stopping me, mate. Yeah, I'm just taking the death there. That felt a little bit bullshit. God, I fucking hate you sometimes, mate. Hirnan's a pretty cool boss, though, I will say. Definitely one of ERR's better bosses. Really, man? Man, just destroying my stamina, and I don't know why that parry there didn't go off at all. Why does it delete my stamina so much? It's so annoying. It's like, oh, you missed one parry, you have all your stamina deleted, fuck you. It's honestly better to take a hit than to fuck up a parry, because at least you don't... At least you'll have the ability to dodge follow-ups. He did some kind of weird spin thing at the start of his slash there. I don't know what that was. It looked a bit funny, but I'm probably just seeing things. Okay, so you have to jump that, or you will end up copping it. Forgot about that, honestly. Aren't you meant to phase transition? I'm confused. Why aren't you phase transitioning? There you go. Thank God for Assassin. If I didn't get my stamina back on some of these, I'd be really fucked. Oh, fuck off with the tail! Oh, you fucking ass with... Oh, the fucking... A non-shield strat. Well, a non-parry strat would be viable here because he doesn't have a shield. Which makes things a hell of a lot easier on Crucible Knights because there's a lot of stuff they'll just block. Man, I love the complete stamina deletion. It makes it so that even once I have stamina back, it won't let me do a parry. Personally. Like, if you're good at parrying, then parrying is overpowered as shit, as I show many times. Like, even if you're just decent. But if you're bad at parrying, that's actively a bad thing to try and parry, because it just deletes what little stamina you have. If you fuck up. It's just safer to do legitimately anything else, and I think that's pretty poorly balanced, personally. It'd be like if regular deflections just completely decimate your stamina bar as well, but they don't. They're just like, oh, it's just like a block, essentially. So like, yeah, it sucks, but it's not as devastating as missing a parry is. I need to stop talking and lock in, by the way, because I'm getting my ass handed to me consistently. I will say the dragging the sword across the ground attack is particularly difficult to parry. Which is why I like these ones here a lot more, because they're a lot easier to parry. I think that might be a bit safer. Didn't run far enough there, but I didn't have anywhere to run, so not much choice. Okay. Can I get up? Thank you. We'll say there was a point where the deflection for making him fall out of the air, this one here, was removed for a while, but it was brought back, so I gotta say that's really good. Oh, man. Dude's got a lot of moves. Yeah, lost my stamina there, so I just went into defense mode to recover. I'm getting into the flow. I pushed B, but whatever. I didn't know you could duck ground stomps, but here we are. Oh man, that really sucks, gotta say. Just not getting quite enough distance and just the end hitbox of it. Okay, so you do need to sprint around him. You can't just walk around him. Understandable. Okay, some bullshittery happened there, and I couldn't get off the ground once again. You gotta be pretty damn fast with this. Okay, thank you. Can you, like, just... Thank you. Mate. I got too comfortable. Got into a river, got too comfortable. Let me tail slap because of it. Oof. Oh, what the hell was that? I didn't have anywhere to go. His leg twitched, like he was gonna stomp, and then he did that. God, you could be twitchy sometimes, mate. Might want to get that scene too. Why is that jump input not going through? It's the second time that's happened. And it's really annoying. Because it's damage and I don't like taking damage. Oh, fuck me for wanting to go for damage, I guess. Oh, what? Like, what do I do when I'm at a distance from him from there? Oh, cool. Yeah, no, just dodge right into him. Fuck you. Like, fucking hell, man! I'm pushing buttons and nothing happens! I don't know what else to fucking say! Holy crap, this guy is pissing me off with the input eating! And like jumps aren't going through, parries aren't going through, dodges aren't going through, and it's just frustrating to deal with. I don't think it has much to do with this guy in general. I think it's just Elden Ring doesn't handle multiple inputs very well. And stuff tends to just get lost. Too early. When you give me no other chances to learn that throughout the entire fucking game. I love your fucking twitchy leg. It's fucking fantastic, mate. Can we stop the twitchy leg? Make you think you're stomping when you're not fucking stomping. Oh, cool. Input got eaten. Fuck you. Like, seriously. Do I get lucky? Or do my inputs get fucked? Or does he all spam Crucible bullshit? Like, it's just... Oh, I don't like RNG, man. Ah, cool. Why did that parry not fucking work? I don't know. I didn't have anywhere to go. Like, knowing what the distance of that attack is, because it feels completely arbitrary half the time. Like every fucking thing this guy does. Oh! go. It's a one-shot. Okay. And there we go. Woo! Hirnan down. Awesome. It took a bit longer than Moog and Plassie. Didn't have quite as much fun as I did with those two. But yeah, Hirnan down. So yeah, thoughts on Hirnan? Obviously they are another Reforged exclusive boss. I think they're pretty cool. I think the idea of taking the Crucible Knights and meshing them together into one super enemy, really cool idea. I personally just find it quite overwhelming, just simply based on the number of moves there are to deal with. But once I figured out most of them, it wasn't too bad. I think there's only one move that I can specifically point out as a problem move, and that is the strafing fire breath, where he puffs up the chin thing and walks water breathes fire. There are situations where if he does that at the wrong range or after you have just been hit or something like that, just some situation where you're just not in the right position, there's no way to avoid it. Because you won't have enough time to get behind him, and you won't have enough time to get away from it. And so I found that a little bit silly, and also there was one death there where I physically could not run away from it any further because it pushed me to the edge of the bridge, and so I just got forced off the edge of the bridge. Felt pretty unfair, and yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. But I think those happenstances are rare enough to where it's not too big of an issue. I think the larger issue with the fire breath is that Hirnan's one of only 2 Crucible Knights that I can think of off the top of my head. And that's Hirnan and Tannis Knight, who actually do the fire breath. So you don't get any practice on any weaker Crucible Knights before being thrown to the gauntlet that is Hirnan, where the fire was two-shotting me. So that I think was a little bit frustrating as well. But I think aside from that, Hirnan's a pretty solid boss. They had a really cool design that they were going to use for Hirnan a while back. Like, they floated a concept of like this dream version of him, like the shamans and all that. Like, it actually probably fit the underground theme there a lot better. And I don't know whatever happened to that. He looked really cool like that. But yeah, a pretty solid boss. And you definitely, I think ERR is best making bosses when they're Elden Ring things. I've never liked the DS3 bosses, but the stuff they've done with some of the Elden Ring enemies and bosses has been really good. So, you know, like Nox Knight Maiden, obviously Hirnan here, obviously the tutorial boss, and I can't think of other ones off the top of my head right now because I'm tired. But yeah, you know, I think that's really the strong suit. I think Reforged is remixing current content rather than adding in new content, because I think I find most of the DS3 reskins are, like, they say they're one-to-one, but I disagree. And that's my right. But yeah, definitely took the longest though so far. That took, what? Oh, about an hour and 20-something minutes. So yeah, definitely going through the bosses in the order of difficulty at the moment. Although Malekith will be the easiest, but yeah, he locks Ashen Capital, so we're doing him last, so yeah. Yeah, 27 deaths. I mean, that's not too bad. That's actually pretty damn good, I will say. It felt a lot worse, so. Right, so. Actually, I might stay Runarked for the first attempt against Melania. We'll see. Okay. So our next fight is obviously going to be with Melania, the Blade of Mikola. So I've already decided what weapon we're going to use, and it was going to be the Kinaga Kiba. We've got Unsheath on it, which I might not use, probably won't. But yeah. This will be a really solid weapon for Melania, and I wanted this specifically because of a fortune that we have. Let's see, it's a Cunning? Yes, Fortune of the Reeds. So, I've gone over this before, we'll go over it again. So increased guarding effectiveness nullifies stamina cost of raising your guard, so I can raise my guard as much as I want, need to worry about stamina cost for it. But decreases dodge negation and decreases dodge effectiveness, so unless I'm deflecting, this isn't going to be very good, but because it's Melania, I want to try and second row her. So we're going to try and second row her with this. When two-handing a light sword or great katana, greatly increases damage of heavy attacks and guard counters, increases damage of weapon skills, retains more stamina regeneration while guarding, and when performing a deflect, inflicts poise damage on foes ahead. Effect is increased during a perfect deflect. And then when two-handing a light sword or a great katana, unable to move while guarding, and nullifies poise damage bonus of heavy attacks and guard counters, and vastly decreases poise damage of all attacks. So, not so much about getting stance breaks, but Melania's got such low stance to begin with that it's probably going to happen anyway, and it's going to be good. And so yeah, Fortune of the Reeds, and then obviously the Minor Fortune, Minor Dancer, gives us performing a deflect restores a small amount of stamina, and performing a perfect deflect slightly increases attack power for a time, which, you know, that goes perfectly with Reeds. So yeah, you can see we're in the second row block, and I am wiggling the stick. I'm wiggling both sticks. You can see my character's not budging from this spot. So, very, very cool, but that'll allow us to have a dance with Melania. So, yeah. And then the next thing that I got specifically for this is I got 8 physic tier. So I specifically grabbed the deflecting hard tier, which enhances regular deflects in the Wondrous Physic. Let me just quickly pull up the Reforged wiki for Wondrous Physic. There we go. Sorry, it took a bit to find it. There we go. Right, Wondrous Physic. So, deflecting hard tier. So, 90% stamina damage taken, so 10% less stamina damage taken. 80% less damage taken through my deflects, which is really, really good. And then also 80% status build-up taken, so 20% less status build-up taken, which obviously, Phase 2 Melania has the rot, so if I get imperfect deflects and the status gets through, that'll help with mitigating it a bit more. It lasts 180 seconds, which is, what, 30 minutes? So that's hopefully long enough for a full Melania fight. So, yeah, that's the plan at least. And so obviously oh yeah, we got good concentration actually. I don't even think that's good concentration. Oh bloody hell. Does this give concentration? I don't know. I don't know what unsheath thing it's got on it. But obviously, as the Fortune mentioned, guard counters, so Curved Sword Talisman and Axe Talisman, heavy attacks, are both really, really good. And using both these together, even better. So I'm actually probably going to do that. And I may even get rid of Green Turtle. We're going to have stamina recovery in our Physic Flask. And I think that'll be really, really helpful to have something else here. And obviously what I'm thinking we have here is the Immunizing Horn Charm, just for the prevention of rot. And then ideally, I'd love to wear the full clean rot set, but I don't think that's going to happen, because this slightly restores the wearer's HP when they're afflicted by the Scarlet Rot, delaying the inevitable, even if only briefly. So it would be helpful. So, hopefully. Because if I do get rotted in her phase 2, then at least it's not a complete death sentence. And yet, I still keep balanced frame, which is really good. So, yeah, that'll help boost up our damage a little bit, and I guess, hang on, let's... Let's see. You know, I wonder... Hang on, mate. Hang on. Ah, you piece of shit. I'm trying to switch over to a dagger into my offhand. You bloody piece of shit. I thought player immortality's on. I guess not. Okay, well, it didn't cost me anything, so that's fine. Not ancestral follower. They were bad. Yeah, that works. They're just pulling out the dagger to get the better crit. This is actually pretty damn fun, I have to say. I tried to go for a parry, but of course he went for the thing. Whatever. I just wanted to test the read, see how it functions, see how it works, and it's actually pretty damn fun, I will say. Not being able to move is honestly not that big of a deal, and I can still swap over to a dagger for crits. So let me bring you back. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Going all over the show, round and round in circles. Need 30,000 to level? Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't use those here. I guess we'll pop over to where we're going to end off, and we'll use them there. That should be the hard tree roots. It's probably going to be the hardest challenge we face in the run. But I have confidence. And also, we never looked at the Crucible fortune. I completely forgot to do that. I apologize. I'll do that right now. Because I forgot to do that. Oopsie daisy. 91 dexterity. Let's go. Okay. let's see. Fortunes, wise, bold? Bold. So yeah, Primal Warrior, whose physique is empowered by Crucible incantations. Unique mechanic, aspect empowerment, increases cast speed, slightly increases damage taken, or slightly increases damage negation, or slightly decreases damage taken, that would be bad. Greatly decreases arcane, greatly decreases stamina recovery speed, and decreases non-holy element attack power. So you're going to be wanting to use holy, which is kind of weird because they have the Crucible Breath, unless the Crucible Breath is holy. Might be holy, I don't know. But when casting a aspect of the Crucible incantations, slightly restore your HP. So, you know, that's what Hirnan was doing. And aspect tail increases the physical and holy attack power of weapons and skills. So if you've got a weapon with physical holy, like the Ordimus Greatsword, for example, really, really good. Aspect breath vastly increases stamina recovery speed and drain status effect build-up. So you want to use breath as much as you can to mitigate the stamina regeneration nerf that you will have using this fortune. And then aspect horn, greatly increases damage negation and poise. Aspect thorns increases action speed, and aspect bloom provides mild health regeneration and enhances the healing effect when casting aspects. So you've got a few different things that you can do. Your bread and butter though is going to be using tail and a weapon most of the time, with breath to get some stam recovery, and then horn to just lay into foes. And vastly decreases the duration of non-aspect buffs. So yeah, very much a fortune based around specifically the Crucible fortunes. So yeah, it's pretty damn cool. Awesome. Right. I think this episode has gone on long enough. I should probably go enjoy the last of my birthday. I've got an hour left. Also, yeah, I'm recording this on my birthday. Never mentioned that. You may have heard my mum singing at one point if that gets left in the video. But yeah. I'll say once again, thank you very much for watching. Also, I'm 31. If you're curious, I'm 31. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, guys. Have a good one.